Now we'll move to intermediate level of questions. What is disadvantage of using context filter? So context filter we have discussed in filters video also. It creates temporary table and other filters apply on this table. So context filter is not convenient when we change this filter frequently. So context filter creates a temporary table. So every time in database, this table must be recomputed and rewrite, which slows down the performance. Next question, what is difference between dual access and blended access? So we'll see individual access, dual access and blended access in Tableau. We have taken sum of sales and year of order date. So you can see a single access out here for sales. This is individual access. Now what dual access is? Display two measures in one graph. For that I'll take measure profit. So we'll have to display it on a one graph. So I'll click on dual access by right clicking on profit. What we do is we synchronize the axis to have both the measures on same scale. And as this looks repetitive, so we'll hide one axis to have the cleaner view. Now blended axis. So suppose I want to add another measure here, which is new profit. Now if I want to include that also in this graph, I'll right click. Now there is no option of dual axis. Dual means two axes. So there is no way I can add that in one graph. So how can we include new profit also in our view? Is we'll go to measure names, click on measures what we are interested, which is sales, profit and new profit, and click on OK. Now we'll remove the sales and profit from here and just include measure values. So as you can see, we all have sales, profit and new profit in one graph. Next question, what is the difference between group and set? So groups are used when we want to combine some of the values to compare it with them or compare it with the remaining. So for example, Adam, he's a general manager. He's concerned only with his estates. So what he'll do is he will create one group of his estates and can compare it with the others. Whereas sets are used to create subset of data based on some condition. So we can have a set of some members of a dimension, like from all the subcategories. If you want only 5 subcategories, we can create a set of it. Also, we can apply any condition like always top 10 customers by sales. Another difference, in groups, we have to manually organize them, but sets, we can specify condition. Next difference, groups are not updated automatically, but sets are. So if we have manually created top 10 customers by sale and a new customer gets added in the database which has a great sale, in group that customer will not be added automatically, but in sets as we specified condition and it comes under top 10 customers, then the sets will update automatically with that customer. Next question, what is normal filter, quick filter and global filter? So in interviews, difference between them can be asked. So first we'll see normal filter. So suppose my requirement is just to create a stack bar chart of furniture categories. What I'll do is I'll drag and drop category, select furniture and click on OK. So this is my stack bar chart of furniture category. This is my normal filter. Now suppose I want users to select what categories they want to see this stack bar chart. So suppose they want to see office supplies with furniture or just office supplies. So in such case, quick filters are good. It is recommended to use necessary quick filters only as it increases the loading time, which decreases the dashboard performance. Now coming to global filters. Global filters are applicable to more than one worksheet. So as you can see, this is applicable to only current worksheet, but you can have this filter to text table, trend lines, correlation. These are my worksheets in this workbook. And then click on OK. So now this filter is applicable on those sheets as well. Also, We can apply this filter to all worksheets related to this data source or related data sources. Hope these filters are clear to you. A common interview question is, what is the difference between quick filter and global filter? Next very important question, what is LOD and in what scenarios you have used? So there are three LOD expressions, include, exclude and fixed. Column, rows and details. These are the three areas which defines the view. What include LOD is, it computes aggregation considering dimensions which are specified in the calculation and also which are present in the views. I have the sample data which has order ID, customer name and sales information. Now if I take average of sales, I'm getting 600k as a value. Sorry, this is sum. I'll take average. So it is 50k. So 600k divided by 12 as there are 12 records. Please note, customer name Pooja, Chandni and Tom are repeated. So total number of records are 12 but distinct customers are 9. Now if I want to calculate average amount of sales per customer without including customer, then how can we do that? We will use include LOD in such cases. So include customer name and sum of sales and then close the parentheses. And now if you drag and drop include LOD and takes the average, this value is different from what value we had for average sales. In both the views we have not included any dimensions, but in average sales per customer we have included customer name in our calculation. So instead of total sales division by 12, it is division by 9. Exclude LOD, it is used to omit specific dimensions from the view. So here we have sales of each month of each region. Now if I want to compare total sales value of each region along with the sales value, it is not possible to do that directly with any Tableau calculation. So here what we can do is we'll write exclude LOD function. Exclude. What we have to exclude is month of order date and then sum of sales. And then close the parentheses and click on OK. We'll modify few little bit. We'll include sales. And exclude LOD. Click on OK, and instead of this I'll put measure values. So now we have sales and total sales of each region, and it has excluded month of order date which we have mentioned in the calculation. Now fixed LOD, it computes whatever you mention in the LOD expression irrespective of what is present in the view. I have state-wise sales information here. I want to include state in my view but wants to show region-wise sales data. So how can I do this? I'll create a calculated field. Fixed LOD. Fixed region. So sorry. Region. Sum of sales. And then close the parentheses. Click on OK. Now we'll add fixed LOD in the view also. Click on OK. So now I'll remove this sales. So now state information is there, but my sales are showing region wise. If I'll show more granular city wise, then also this is fixed. So summary include. It takes into consideration what is present in the view plus what you are specified in the calculation. Exclude, it omits specific dimensions from the view. And fixed, it computes what you specify in the calculation irrespective of what is present in the view. Next question, what is the difference between join, blending and cross join? So join is used to combine data from same source on related fields. Cross join is used to combine data from multiple sources, and blending is also used to combine data from multiple sources. Next difference is default join is inner join in joins, but you can do any type of join like left, right, inner and full outer join with it. Same with cross join, but in blending you can only do left join. Another difference, join and cross join joins data at row level, whereas blending sends query to each dataset, aggregate and then performs blending. Next question, how relationship helps in improving performance? So with Tableau 2020.2, we have relationships. Earlier, we used join to combine data from sources. So sometimes this lead to row duplication and performance issues. How? I'll show you. These are two tables with the user ID field in common. So as you can see, one is repeating twice. So if we do a join based on user ID, then there will be a Cartesian join. So for one, there are two records, but after joining it will be 4. So with huge data sets, it will be a problem. To avoid this, generally we use data blending or LOD calculations. Now, what relationship do is, it doesn't combine data into single file or table, what joins do. Instead, when we are building a visualization with the fields from this table, Tableau brings in data from these tables to build a query with the appropriate joins. You only need to select matching fields to define a relationship. So during analysis, Tableau adjusts join types intelligently and preserves the native level of detail in your data. You can still specify joins between the tables in the physical layer of the data source. I'll show you how to do that. This is the logical layer of the relationship. You can double click on it to go to the physical layer, and you can specify joins and unions here. So this is what relationship is and how it helps to improve the performance. Next question. In blending, what does blue and orange tick against data source indicate? Also, what is red link and gray broken link? We will see this directly in Tableau. So how can we do blending is, first add the data source. We'll click on new data source. Select your data source, so mine is textual. Clicking on the order details and then going to the sheet. Now my data source is added. This data source contains order ID and return status. So we have order ID and return in common. So what I want is, against my order IDs, return status from the order details. So what this red link and gray broken link means is, it is the common link which is used for blend. And what gray broken link means is, it is the potential attribute which can be used for blend. You can click on this. So this will also contribute in blending. Now, as you see this blue tick, it is for the primary data source, and the orange tick is for the secondary data source. The same you can do by going to edit blend relationships. So here is your primary data source, here is your secondary data source. You can change it. Also, there will be only one primary data source, but you can have a number of secondary data sources. Also, if you don't want, this is automatic by default. If Tableau sees same name of attributes in both the tables, but you can change it. So I don't want return to be part of my blend. So I'll remove it and click on OK. Now I will add return to my text. It will do left join. So whatever Okay, so these order IDs have written status yes, so the output is this. So quick recap: blue tick primary data source, orange tick secondary data source. The first field you drop on the worksheet will be your primary data source, but you can go to edit relationships and change it from there if you want. There will be only one primary source, but there can be n data sources. Red link, the common link between tables. Gray link, the potential attributes that can be used to blend the tables. The primary and secondary data sources is limited to worksheet level, not the work. So in a workbook for different sheets, primary and secondary data sources may differ. Next question, why sometimes asterisk comes after blending? So when you blend your data, there should be only one matching value in the secondary data source for each mark in the primary data source. Otherwise, you will see asterisk against that value because Tableau doesn't know which value to display. Consider these data sources, population and superstore. So primary data source is population, secondary is superstore. Both have states in common. In secondary data source, we have segment information also, and as we can see, each state have 3 different segments. Now, when we blend data on states and use a state from primary and segment from secondary, Tableau will show asterisk against the state as there will be multiple values of segments against states in the secondary data source. We can resolve asterisk by adding a field with a higher level of granularity from primary data source to the sheet, like city in our previous example, or we can rebuild our view, switch primary and secondary data sources with each other. So there won't be asterisk after blending. Next question, how to implement right join and inner join in data blending. So we know we can only do left join in data blending. So to implement right join, what we can do is we can switch primary data source and for inner join, one can filter out the nulls from the column from the secondary data source. This way we can implement right join and inner join in blending. Next question, what is VisQL? VisQL is Visual Query Language. So as the user drags and drop, each action generates a query in the backend that converts into visual images. Next question, state, city, country from Excel column has data type string. How Tableau recognizes it as a geographical location? This is because fields such as country, state, city, airport, zip codes, Tableau has inbuilt geographic database that recognizes these fields as geographical roles, even if your database doesn't contain latitude and longitude values. Next question, what are dashboard filter actions? So dashboard actions allow interactivity to the user. The user can arrive at the findings on their own. You can go to dashboard or worksheet, then actions, add action. So these are all the actions you can implement. Filter, you can highlight, go to URL, go to sheet, change parameters or change the set values. We'll see for filter the most commonly used. So here you can specify your action name. Now what I want is in my map sheet, whatever the states I select, remaining charts will load accordingly. So I'll deselect all the remaining charts from the source, select only map, and then in the target, I'll select every chart except map. I want this on select, show all values, and click on OK. OK. Now when I select state California, my views will load accordingly. Similarly for other states. Now if I click at any other place, my views are reset. This way we can implement dashboard filter actions. Next question, what are visual best practices? So while designing your dashboard, keep your audience in mind, how much they know about the subject, what they are looking for in the dashboard. This helps to create a successful dashboard. Next, your dashboard should be engaging and interactive. This allows end user to arrive at the findings on their own. Third is chart choice. Choose the best chart that conveys the message and can be easily understood by the end user. No need to create fancy charts unless necessary. Consistent colors should be used across your dashboard. Next is layout. All the views of the dashboard should be in coordination, and there must be a sensible flow of the information. Next, your titles, subtitles, tooltips should be appropriate and easily digestible and understandable for your audience. Tooltips should be relevant and don't add every detail in your tooltips. These are some of the visual best practices. Can we increase performance of a dashboard in Tableau? So below are some points with which we can increase dashboard performance. First is use extract if possible, because in live connection insertion deletions may happen. So it impacts performance. Next one is you can hide all unused fields after building your dashboard, because then Tableau don't have to pass through all the fields to execute query to load the views. You can use performance recorder to check which worksheet is taking more time to load. Try to do data preparation work outside Tableau on your data source level. Limit blended calculation as it takes more time to execute query. Limit filters. Try not to use only relevant values as it creates sequential queries. You can reduce number of sheets in a dashboard and number of dashboards in a single workbook as it takes time to load your dashboards. So this way performance of dashboards can be increased. This is asked in almost all interview questions.